Now here is a Tom Ford fragrance that I've had in my collection for many years now, but it just turns out that I never had the chance to review it, although I have featured it in lists before. This is Azure Lime. I know it was discontinued for a while. Now it's re-released. I've had my bottle for about a decade now. I'm looking forward to giving you my thoughts on this fragrance, so make sure to stay tuned. Before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on Azure Lime by Tom Ford, part of the Private Blend line, I do want to start the video off first by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and please give this video a thumbs up as well for the YouTube algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. So here we have Azure Lime. It originally came out back in 2010, if I'm not mistaken, right around that time period. And I acquired my bottle, I want to say 2013, 2014. So I've had this in my collection, if not for a decade, almost a decade. And I know I've seen the presentation in the blue bottle, which looks similar to Neroli Portofino. And of course, this is a citrus-based fragrance, especially with lime in the name. It does have a lot of citrus happening in here. There's buchu, which is this interesting plant that gives off this sort of camphorous, bittersweet aroma. There's also musk, there's some woods. In any case, I'm going to be telling you all about the smell of this fragrance, and thankfully my bottle still smells wonderful even a decade later. But let's go ahead and start things off with a quick look at the presentation first. Now, of course, the first thing that you're going to get in the opening of this fragrance is a bunch of citrus. It opens up super bright, and I personally love that bright citrusy element that is happening in here. You have a little bit of lime, you have petitgrain, you have neroli, and of course I'm getting all of these notes sort of coming together. The neroli gives it this sort of classic brightness, the lime gives it this sharpness, the petitgrain almost gives it like a woodsy appeal to complement the woods that are going to be found in the dry down as well. I know there's musk in the note breakdown too, and I'm not getting anything overly musky from this fragrance, especially as far as the base notes are concerned. I'm getting more woods than anything else, and I would venture to say that there is cedar wood. It has a little bit of that dark, peppery, woodsy appeal that I think comes across in a very fancy, sort of elegant manner. And of course, as far as the buchu is concerned, it does have this sort of camphorous vibe. There's nothing sweet about it. I know I mentioned a bittersweet aroma. There is a bit of an astringent quality to it. Could be coming from juniper, could be coming from another ingredient that's in here. But of course, I am getting that sort of astringent, camphorous quality. And it kind of puts me in the mindset of something like a Rouge à Parfum Scandal. So if you've ever tried that, or New York Intense by Patricia de Nicolai, this is kind of in that family. So it does have that refined, elegant, Dior Eau Sauvage type of a quality. Not Sauvage, but Eau Sauvage. So it has that refined, sort of gentlemanly, personality about it. It's not as bright as Neroli Portofino, and it's not as modern as Mandarino di Amalfi. So it's kind of in between there. It has this classic sort of antique charm about it, but it's still a fragrance that I would love to wear to this day. I think it has a lot of, things going for it as far as, a modern fragrance is concerned. And I think it does indeed fill in a gap that has not yet been filled by other Tom Ford Private Blend fragrances. And to think that it was done such a long time ago, just a few years after the introduction of the Private Blend line, I don't think this is one that should have been discontinued. I think this one definitely appeals to a more, gentlemanly crowd, somebody who is looking for something to be worn with a suit and tie. And of course, it's been done by other brands and other price points, but, for there to be something within the Private Blend line, I think it's well deserved. Check it out if you haven't already done so. It's a wonderful sort of citrusy, musky, woodsy fragrance with some camphorous and astringent qualities, but it smells super classy. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. Now, first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, this scent has been done before. Eau Sauvage by Dior, New York Intense, Rouge Scandal. There are so many fragrances out there that have that vibe going on in them, but at the end of the day, it smells wonderful, super classy, very easy to pull off. It definitely has this professional and formal aura about it that I think is really good. Longevity on this one is a good 7 hours on skin. It is citrus heavy, so it's not going to be super long lasting. It is much longer lasting than Neroli Portofino and Mandarino di Amalfi though, so that's a good thing to keep in mind. As far as projection goes, it projected really well for the first hour and a half of application, but it became an elbow's length scent right around hour 4 and a skin scent right around hour 6 or 7. So performance could be a little bit better. In terms of the versatility on this one, it is masculine leaning according to traditional standards. I think this one would be great for a dressed up situation. Something like Neroli Portofino is a little bit more casual. This might appeal to somebody who's a little bit older and it's more suitable for the hotter weather. And as far as the presentation is concerned, I personally prefer the blue bottle or that sort of aquamarine presentation over the black presentation. It gives it more personality, I think. But my final verdict on this fragrance is it's classy, it's elegant, it has a vintage appeal to it, it has a sharpness on account of the citrus, and it's very professional smelling. If you have a chance to try it, please do. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my review of Azure Lime by Tom Ford, part of the Private Blend collection. If you did, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.